Welcome to Elite Expert Insider Podcast, where we will inspire, motivate, and educate entrepreneurs, innovators, and growth seekers. Brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, making the best and brightest in the industry #1 best-selling authors. 80% of people say they want to write a book. We're assuming that's the same for you. If so, contact us at www.eliteonlinepublishing.com and make your book a reality. Hey, welcome again to another great episode of our Elite Expert Insider Podcast. We have a great show for you. You know, real estate is on everybody's mind. How do I make money in real estate? So we have an expert on today, Chris Prefontaine. He has written the book, The New Rules of Investing in Real Estate. 24 leading experts are in the book, and they tell you their secrets. So everyone wants to know, the question for me is, how do I make money in real estate using other people's money? How do I get reoccurring income? And we're going to answer those questions today, so stay tuned. First of all, make sure you subscribe to our podcast. We are trending right now. We are number 92 in business and climbing up the charts. And thank you for helping us do that and leaving reviews. We really appreciate it. So make sure you subscribe and leave a review for us. And if you are looking to write a book and become a #1 bestseller and learn how to leverage your book as a marketing tool and use it for your business to get big ticket clients, grow your value in the marketplace, contact us at eliteonlinepublishing.com. You can leave us an email. You can send us a form right there to submit a submission form. I'll get it out. Submission form to us, or give us a call. Either way. All right, we're going to get right into it. Chris Prefontaine, thank you for taking the time out of your schedule from beautiful Newport, Rhode Island, one of my favorite places. And you are just crushing it in the real estate industry. You have like almost $30 million worth of portfolio right now. Can't wait for you to tell us how you're doing that. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure, always.
So tell us, Chris, a little bit about yourself and how you got started into real estate and writing this book.
Sure. So I'm going to, without dating myself, I'll just give you the 10,000 foot view. So early 90s, started building homes, actually did that without using banks, had the landowner wait and had the subcontractors wait, and then we sold the finished product. That led to buying a franchise, realty executive. So I had a realtor hat on back then, not investor hat. Sold that to Coldwell Banker in 2000. And then from 2000 onward till the crash, we were doing our own investments and coaching people throughout the United States and Canada, all throughout North America. That led to the lovely debacle in 2008, which so many people went through. You guys probably have books and books and books on that you know of. So that caused us to re-engineer the business, though, to be what it is today, literally. Buying homes, not even with other people's money, as Melanie referenced, but literally without money and without credit and without signing personally on any loans. And that's what we do now. We buy everything on terms, what we call terms.
So describe us, let's jump into it. Describe those terms. How do we buy a house, piece of land, apartments on terms with no money down and doing that?
The simplest two ways are lease purchase, and we can go into what those mean, and owner financing. I mean, these things have been around. I read a book recently and I was shocked. It was like late 1800s, one of the wealthy real estate magnates from that time. And they were talking about lease purchase. And I was like, oh, this is not new. It's just that nobody took it and wrapped a system around it and really scaled it.
You know, that's so funny because I just bought a house on a lease purchase. And whenever I did.
That's awesome.
I'm moving in July. I'm so excited. But one thing that comes up when I tell people that I do that is they all of a sudden feel like I did something wrong, or is it a shady deal, or are you sure? Are you going to be okay? And everyone like, why didn't you just get a mortgage? You know, all these different things. And it's so funny because like, I feel like it was a great experience and everything worked out really well, and it's going to be great. And they all of a sudden it's kind of like this, you know, oh, we can't talk about that. That's crazy. You know, when they don't even really understand the mortgage that they have. So it's really
no kidding.
Awesome that it's all of a sudden it feels like there's something wrong, or there's, you know, this black tarp or something.
It's the unknown.
Now, how do you
do the unknown
with no money down? Like Jen, I know, still had to put money down. So what's the strategy to get into a lease purchase or owner finance with no money down?
Okay, so we'll typically give you, Melanie, let's say it's your home and you owe, let's just use, there's all kinds of scenarios, even over leverage, but let's say it's 300,000 and you owe 250. Mm-hmm. As a seller, let's say you're not getting that full 300 on the market. You usually don't expect to get full price. So we say to the seller, look, your mortgage is 250 today. you're with the price we're agreeing on is 300. If I can get my term long enough, 3 years or more, 5 years, the building I'm in is 20 years. So if I can get a long enough term, I don't care about price. So I say to you, okay, Melanie, at the end of the term, I'm going to pay off your 250, but it's not 250 anymore. So I benefit from that. It's lower, right? Over time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to guarantee you the 50,000 equity that you have today. So at the end of the lease purchase period, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you get your 50,000. I pay off your mortgage, but I gained a lot because I had principal paid on that whole time on your mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So why do sellers do it? Sellers do it if they can wait for their cash. They're going to net more with us if they can wait. If a seller says, I've got a family, I'm taking this cash, 50,000 in this case, and buying another home, I can't wait. Okay, we're not a fit for them. But if they can wait, we're a super good fit. And no money down. Our leases have in them, lease purchase, $10 deposit written in, $10. And then I'll flip it a little bit on owner financing, also been around for decades and decades. We look for free and clear properties. So by nature of free and clear, that tells you that the homeowner didn't need to pull money out. They would have already pulled it out. So this is a great seller to deal with. They don't need the money today. We make principal only payments every month. So take that same home you did a lease purchase on, do the same thing if it was debt free, but the payments you make all go to principal. That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And so you gain major principal pay down against any market change. And the profit at the end is enormous from that principal pay down.
But if you're doing principal only, why is that beneficial for the homeowner? Like, I'm not making extra money. You're just paying me towards that. I'm not getting interest on the money that you're using in the meantime. So what's the benefit of that?
Price, always price. So let me give you an example of the $300,000 home with no debt on it. If you say to me, there's all kinds of terms you can do, but if you say to me, I don't need it right away, I can wait. If you'll go out like 60 months, for example, I can pay you more than 300. Who cares? If I have a payment going to you of $1,000 a month, to use easy math, and I say to you, I can give you 300,000 and pay you 1,000 a month for 3 years, and at the end of the 3, I'll pay the difference that's due. But Melanie, if you go out 5 years, picture I'm getting 24,000 more down, right, in my principal pay down. So they don't figure this out. They just know that they get top price. So I say to you, instead of 300, I'll give you 307, 306, call whatever number you're comfortable with, because I'm getting 24,000 more pay down. And I'm not paying it because we're going to put a tenant buyer in that house that pays that and then some. So in your case, you had a house you're doing, but if I'm going to do it as an investor, I'm going to make money on the spread every month, and I'm going to make money on that principal pay down, and the owner is going to get the top price that they couldn't get on the market.
Right. So they're almost getting, if you give them more than what they're asking, so to speak, then that's really kind of considered the interest that you might have paid on that money, but it's spread out over that time. That makes sense.
Yeah, and it's principal, so that they're not getting taxed on a little bit of interest income and having to report that every month. They're putting it towards their principal, so that has to do with their capital gains maybe, or whatever they're doing personally.
Yeah. So explain owner finance for those who don't understand what it is.
Sure.
And when they hear owner finance, sometimes they do get those whistles going off like, what is it? I don't understand, because everyone's so comfortable going to a bank and asking for money, but everyone's not comfortable going to people and asking for money, but they don't understand the difference. So kind of
yeah. This is huge because if you are comfortable with banks and you get to know what you really just signed, you won't be comfortable with banks.
Exactly.
And I learned that the hard way in the debacle when 23 properties and banks came looking for us for the money when the values dropped. Okay. So please understand what you're signing when you go to a bank. Number one. Number two, you're paying fees. So it's costing you a whole bunch more than you think. So the difference is this. I go to Melanie. Melanie doesn't owe anything on her home. And I say, great, I'm going to pay you $307 for that house that we just talked about. And the difference is, instead of going to a bank and bringing the money to the table, Melanie's the bank. She gets a first mortgage on her own house to protect her interest in case I get hit by the yellow bus or go to Tahiti and take off, stop making payments. She gets protected. She takes her house back. But in the meantime, she's totally secure. She's getting payments just like the bank would. Only the difference is the bank dictates to you the terms. We together structure the terms that are win-win. That's the big difference. Is that what you meant?
Yeah. So owner finance is the person is the bank. And I think that's the big thing that people need to understand when they're looking at owner finance is understanding how they're getting the payments instead of giving it to the big, huge bank who already has a ton of money. Right?
Yep. Yep, absolutely. And then look, if you're new to home buying, when you take out on that example, if you take out a mortgage of $300,000, teeny bit going to principal at the beginning, whole bunch going to interest, and that changes over time, but ever so, slightly and slowly. With us, $1,000 a month going to principal right off the bat. You'll never get that. Never, ever, ever in a million years. And there's plenty. The amount of properties in the United States that are free and clear is about a third. A third. That's a lot of homes. You got enough people to go talk to.
Well, and people never really do the math. Let's say that $300,000 home with the interest rate, and you're paying all that interest up front. And let's say they refinance halfway through, and they start all with those fees again, and they're paying more interest rate.
Crazy.
By the time you get done for, say you have a 25-year mortgage in there, maybe you're going to pay actually $600,000 for that $300,000 home.
Easy.
With interest. And people don't get that. It's like, oh yeah, I made money, or I haven't lost any money in my house, but yeah, since you paid all that interest, you have really paid almost double for your house in most circumstances when you do that.
You overpaid.
Yep. What are some other great tips that you have in your book of the secrets? Share some other secrets with us.
Well, you've mentioned the 24 experts. So we're big on kind of the prosperity mindset, right? Versus lack. So we on purpose expose the students and the listeners to the podcast to all these different niches. There's all kinds of ways you can go in real estate. So in that book, you hear about tax liens, the newest stuff. You hear about the wholesaling, the rehabbing, the stuff they see on TV, and then all kinds of in-between niches that we're involved in, because each one of these niches have sub-niches that you can go ahead and make money at. What I would tell people is two things. One is don't get caught by the shiny object, because all that stuff's good, but pick one that you like and that you can relate to. And then once you do, pick someone that's current in that niche. It's great that they had some success 20 years ago, but real estate changes so fast, and it can cost you your whole business and sometimes your personal assets too if you mess up and you're following someone that's been outdated. It's super, super important. And I say that about any business, by the way. It could be you want to go start a restaurant, find someone that did it, find someone that's still doing it, and then go latch on to them for 3 years. I mean, it's that simple in my book.
Yes, for sure. I love that. Success leaves clues. That's one of my favorites.
Sure does. So why try to redo?
Yep. Favorite quotes. Well, tell us a little bit about some of the people in the book. I noticed a couple of things in there about, tech. So real estate with tech, real estate with Airbnb. So kind of tell us some of your favorite chapters in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to slight anyone on the favorites, and I got a book behind me I could grab, but let me think of some cool things. So in there is Dr. Joe Vitale. Now people probably say, well, he's not real estate. Why is he in there? Joe and I are friends, and Joe works obviously on the headspace, right? Mm-hmm. So no matter what niche you pick, in some people's cases, 60 to 95% of the challenge is right there.
Yes.
Whether it's confidence or whatever else it is. So that's in the book. And then you mentioned Airbnb. Now there's a model that he's not even buying real estate. The gentleman in the book, he is traveling the world in his 30s and controlling more real estate without owning real estate than most of the hotel chains. That's pretty cool. And all he's doing is running an Airbnb system. So if that's what you like, that's a chapter that's interesting. There's a chapter on tax liens. Ted Thomas is foremost expert. I come close to saying in the world, but certainly in North America, he's been doing it 30 some odd years. And that is just buying tax liens and tax certificates as an investor. Now, so that takes money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You borrow from private. So there's all different ways of pivoting in there. There's apartment buildings in there. Some people don't mind going and asking people for investment money, privately. Mm-hmm. I don't. I'd rather not ask anyone for anything, and I'd rather not sign on any loans. So my niche is different, but I want to expose people to everything so they get to pick and choose and have fun with it.
Yeah. And I like that you have where you can pick and choose what to focus on, and that you have a focus. I think a lot of times people say, I'm going to be a real estate investor, and then they get a rental, and then they do a flip, and then they do this, and they're not focused, and they get all this, go crazy. And then that's when they fail, because they tried to do too many things.
It's also what you just said is interesting, because it's also more, in my opinion, I'm not trying to step on toes of people that are in my book even, but if you're doing flips and wholesaling, number one, you're dealing with small checks, in my opinion. And I'll tell you why I say that in a minute compared to what we do. And you're also, I think you have a job. So just what you just said, they go do a flip, they go do a wholesale, you get a job. You don't have a scalable business. So get a model that you can scale with someone's help. Now, when I say small checks, a wholesaler might make $5,000 to $20,000 a deal. Now, most people say, well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, but they got to go do it again. There's no residual. Yeah. The way we buy our properties that we just described on terms, we'll put a tenant buyer in that home that needs time to get their credit repaired or needs time to save. It's a win-win for them too. but we create 3 paydays per deal, 3. So it's money up front, it's cash flow every month, and it's money when we cash out. Well, that's pretty neat. You get about 12 of those going, you get staggered cash flow for a long time, like 3, 4, 5 years. You could get off the treadmill for 3 months and not miss a beat, and then get some more properties. That's what we do. So we control like 50 or 60 at any one time and are on 0 bank loans. I can sleep good at night with that,
Yeah.
You have to bring like a property manager to manage that many properties. I mean, obviously there's repair and upkeep and that sort of thing. What's the strategy on that?
Yeah,
So
great question. So difference between a landlord and what we do, this is very good, applicable question, is the tenant buyer assumes all responsibility for the house like they own it.
Yeah.
So if you're my tenant buyer, you sign, you understand full well that when you go in, you're acting, behaving, and paying for things like you're a buyer. The only difference is you don't have a loan yet. So that's pretty cool. So when the toilet clogs, I don't get a call. When the roof leaks, it's their home. Only they're not on the deed yet.
So it's not a renter. I just want to make that clear to everybody, because at first I was thinking you were renting the houses. It's really that lease to own person. So it's the tenant buyer that it becomes their house, and it's very clear. Now, how do you suggest people doing individual houses versus doing apartment buildings, small apartment buildings? Is it just a personal preference, or do you lean towards one more than the other?
On terms, you can buy anything on terms. You can buy an airplane on terms, right? You can buy anything on terms, but we focus on single families, and we have done plenty of multis. Like we recently sold off a 4-unit and a 6-unit. Both of those were bought on terms, owner financing, with nothing down in monthly principal payments. So we did very well on them. You can also do this inside of your IRA, self-directed. That's a whole other show maybe, but you picture putting, in our case, a $900 deposit. We broke the rule on that big one, 6-unit. And when we closed out 3.5 years later, $116,000 tax-free came back in. Well, that's a pretty cool return if you know what you're doing with that. So you can do any niche you want, but the point is focus on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just find what works best for you. Seems to make
comfort
sense.
level, area you're in, all kinds of things.
Awesome. So let's talk about the names of your books. So the New Rules of Real Estate Investing is one of your books, but you also wrote another book before that. What was that book about?
Yeah, so the second one that you just mentioned is written with my son and son-in-law, and then the first one's called Real Estate on Your Terms. That's where we actually tell them just about our niche, like A to Z. We start off with the debacle, because I'm an open book. I want people to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. We tell them why that happened and what we did to get out of it, and then we go through literally 9 steps to what we do here as a company to buy and sell and fill with tenant buyers, et cetera.
That's great.
Both books sound fantastic. So if you want to know exactly what Chris does step by step, get that first book, which is the real estate. I got to put my glasses on. Real Estate on Your Terms. So that I think I would highly recommend that book, because then everything he's talking about, you're going to learn step by step. And then the New Rules of Real Estate Investing, I think it's also fabulous, because you're getting everybody's advice. You're getting a multitude of experts, and you're putting that into your head to make you an expert after you read that book. Tell us where we can find you, Chris.
I will give you're going to make me do the first time ever, but you said both books. So I'll give both links for the free book. Okay.
Okay.
So when I say free, just for your audience to know, I don't mean like 99% of the people that say free book and then you got to pay $8 for shipping. We'll pay for shipping. It's expensive, but I want you to have the book. Just say that you're on the show. You heard the show. So the first book is at free SREC, stands for Smart Real Estate Coach, free SRECbook.com. And the second one you can get at newrulesforfree.com, newrulesfor, free.com. So totally free. Then go to the website anytime, smartrealestatecoach.com, or the podcast, smartrealestatecoachpodcast.com.
Great. Well, we'll put those links up at the bottom of the YouTube video. And for those of you who are listening, you can check out the show notes on our blog.
Terrific. Thanks for coming by today, Chris. We really appreciate you. Go get his books, and make sure you subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you. And if you are looking to become an author like Chris and use your books for your business, then just reach out to us at eliteonlinepublishing.com. There's a submission form right there, or give us a call or send us an email. All that information is on our website. We'll see you soon with more great information to make your life better and make more money.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
If you'd like to create the most powerful advertising tool for your business, contact us at eliteonlinepublishing.com, where we will help you create, publish, and make your book a #1 bestseller, and show you how to get new leads and more revenue for your business. If you'd like to check us out on our Facebook page, we have a free book for you as our gift. Just go and click Free Book. Remember to subscribe and leave a comment for our podcast. We would love to hear from you.